Hi, welcome for all my grant professionals that are interested in expanding your grant portfolio. Today, our topic is I have perfect pitch, how to pitch new funders. So my name is Deronda Harrison. I am the founder and principal consultant for June First Firm. We specialize in working with nonprofits, assisting with grant writing needs so that they have a lasting impact on the communities and those they serve. I've obtained and managed federal and foundation awards totaling nearly $15 million in nonprofits located in DC, Virginia, Maryland, Louisiana, New York, and Georgia. And a lot of the nonprofits that I work with provide healthcare, housing services, workforce development, or your job readiness, and K-12 education. I am also a member of the Grant Professionals Association. So today, again, for those that are in the grant world, you're a grant professional. And of course, we're always trying to expand our grant portfolio and work with new funders. We're going to go through some tips on ways to do that. So we'll talk about how to pitch new funders, how to start the conversation, and how to grab the funder's attention. And one thing to note is seasoned grant reviewers will admit to making up their minds on the very first page of the proposal, and they rarely change their posture as they read the rest of the document. This is something to keep in mind that first impressions are so critical. So we'll talk through ways to make great first impressions for new funders or even just someone that you may or may not be a good fit with, how to even have those conversations. So what not to do? You do not want to wing it. Don't recite from note cards or don't read note cards. Don't say, we have these numbers, but I have to get back to you. You don't want to wing it at this time. You don't want to over exaggerate. Making statements like, oh, we have these enormous programs serving millions of individuals, or even saying hundreds of thousands of people. So do not over exaggerate. Don't be pushy or over talk the funder. Don't be rude. And ask them, hey, so when can you make a donation? And this is just your first conversation with them, or even second or third. Don't lead with too much background about your nonprofit, stating like when you were founded and giving information about the founder's background and where they grew up and their history. This is not a time to share that information or share too much of that information. And don't forget to make the ask. So you want to make sure that um, these are some things you just don't want to do when you're making your pitch. So how to do so? We're going to use the acronym PITCH, P-I-T-C-H, P for people, I for impact, T for third party validation, C for connection, and H for help. So I'll show you ways to what each of these mean and when making your pitch. So for people, you want to make sure that you are thinking about your nonprofit's partners. If you're a housing, you provide housing services to low income individuals, and you partner with a nonprofit in your community that provides healthcare services, you want to make sure that you are leveraging your partners. See if there's a funder that is supporting them that you could potentially work with, and just having that conversation. See if your nonprofit partner will make an introduction. Also looking at your people who has the funder awarded, who are the funders awardees. So don't hesitate to check out their 990. If they're a larger foundation, they have a website, they have a list of their grantees on there. See if there's any connection that you have with any of their prior or current awardees. And you can also start there. Always leverage your board. Check out your board as well as the funder that you would like to work with, their board, their staff, and see if there's any connections there. If your board, any of your board members have a connection with other boards or staff members of the foundation or family foundation that you're looking to reach out to, check out your board. See if there's a local rep that can make a referral for you. So in Georgia, we have Energy Management Corporations, EMCs. And you may have a relationship with a local representative. You may have applied for funding through them and received like smaller micro grants for your EMC. See if your EMC may have a relationship with a larger power company. Like again, in Georgia, there's Georgia Power. They can introduce you to a local representative from a larger corporation and see if there's a connection there. So again, you're just building relationships, really leaning into your network. Who is in your network? So all these things kind of align with leveraging your people, leveraging your network, and also don't forget about LinkedIn as a great reminder as to who is in your network that you can potentially reach out to new funders. For I wanted to make sure that you are thinking about your impact. So it's important to, of course, introduce your nonprofit services, talk about what you do, but also make sure that you are showing your impact, your solution that you're providing with statistics, showing your outcome, make sure you're showing your proof. So for instance, we are in this county, there are at any given day, 647 people could be considered to be homeless. And already in 2021, we've served 375 families. We've been able to provide them a continuum of care to include like permanent housing, whether that's permanent housing, whether that's short-term housing, whether that's emergency shelter, as well as setting them up with a case manager where they can get job education, job training services. So make sure that you're highlighting your impact with specific outcomes and proof of the work that's taking place at your organization. For T, third-party validation is something that we may, some people often forget about is who outside of your nonprofit, of course, you say great things about your organization all day, every day, but who else is speaking good things about the work that you're doing? Because sometimes a testimonial, if you will, is more impactful. So you want to share third-party validation. So in this example, I used nonprofit, they have centers in the community, and the mayor is working with the city on behalf of the nonprofit to work with private sector and other donors to raise money for the centers and to focus on the centers on educational and artistic training to deter children from crime. And it has provided a boost for the nonprofit to their programs that are already having such a positive impact. Other third-party validations, some things that you may not think about as well as like your rating on Charity Navigator. Make sure that you are leveraging those things because as we all know, Charity Navigator doesn't just give out ratings. So you want to make sure you're highlighting those things. You can share, we have the highest rating by Charity Navigator and we are accredited by well-regarded organizations. We've had reviewed by external auditors and evaluation agencies that displays that we've had a clean audit for multiple years. So there's different ways that you can highlight third-party validations, of course, along with your nonprofit testimonials of clients that you serve, but those are some other third-party validations that you can think about as well. Also connection. When you are looking at applying for funding with a new funder or having that conversation with new funders, make sure you understand the funder's priorities. Do those priorities connect to your work? So if they are concerned about the communities, what is their culture? Is that aligned with your mission? If they focus on sustainability, system change, DEI work, make sure you understand the funder's priorities. You're able to highlight that when you're making your pitch. H is for help. Ask simply the funder, how can I help you? How can our nonprofit serve you? It's a partnership. It's not an unhealthy friendship. The funder is not your sugar daddy. You want to make sure that you highlight and stress how can you be of help to them, help to make the funder's life better. Let them know you exist by presenting your nonprofit and the work that you're doing and how you're making an impact, because you want the funder to feel like, I'm grateful for this new partner. I can't wait to send you a link so you can submit an LOI or submit a grant proposal because we would love to fund the work that you're doing. So remember to pitch, how to pitch new funders. You want to consider all those things. And I have an example of an organization here, SCORE. They are a national nonprofit with regional locations throughout the United States, and they provide small business education. So a summary or sample pitch would be SCORE Western, which is regional office in like upstate New York. So a summary pitch would be SCORE Western, or our nonprofit, offers professional, accessible business education to aspiring and current small businesses. 50% of the community are unemployed due to social inequities that have expounded, of course, due to the pandemic. Our nonprofit partners with local community colleges to assist their business school. The program operates at a very low cost because we're staffed by volunteers. We've had external evaluators that state that a cost associated with a nonprofit of $150 creates a return of $60 into the economy, in line with priorities to serve historically excluded or under-resourced community. Our training attracts 1,600 attendees a year. Through mentoring and workshops, we provide the support, the instruction, and education that all aspiring and new business owners need to grow their company. So remember to pitch your people, impact, third-party validation, connection, and help. And in that example, I highlighted people that we work with, our partners, where I discussed working with community colleges. I showed the impact that we're having with 50% of the community being unemployed, but we're able to serve 1,600 individuals a year with job training, business education. I showed third-party validation, where an external reviewer saw that cost of $150 for our nonprofit creates a $60 in return. I showed the connection that we have in line with the priorities of the funder to serve under-resourced individuals, and I showed how we can help through our mentoring and workshop. We provide support and instruction, and how that helps the funder, and it's in line with their priorities. So remember to pitch, show your people, show your impact, third-party validation, connection, and help. So now that you have perfect pitch, who will you pitch first? Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.